Let's bring in the political power panel to suss this one out. We've got Washington Times contributor Eric Schipper and from the Independent Women's Forum, Nan Hayworth. Nan, good to see you. Is there a deep state, you're down there in D.C., is there a deep state trying to derail President Trump?
Well, I think it's very clear, Liz, that the administration has not yet populated itself with people who are dedicated to the mission that the president was legally and legitimately elected to represent. There is an enormous number of people still in the executive branch whose sole mission, it seems, is to bring the president down.
Stay with me, Nan. Those are Obama officials, right? There are more than 550 spread throughout the top levels of government, still from the Obama administration. Go ahead, Dan, and then I want to get to Eric. Go ahead.
Well, look, we know from the leaks, are the leaks credible? Are they damaging to national security? Do they have a political purpose? These are the questions that we have to ask ourselves when we hear these leaks, and fundamentally they have a political purpose. The president owes it to himself and the American people to purge the executive branch of these leakers.
Eric, what did we learn about James Comey?
Well, I think what we learned is several things. Number one, I do believe at the core he believes that he's a patriot. And I think what he tried to do in his mind, I don't see these as together, by the way. I think the fact that he leaked the issue with Trump and the fact that he believed he was breaking the law is very different than the other example that you raised, in my opinion. I don't think they equate.
What are you talking about, Eric?
But I also...
What are you talking about? What doesn't equate?
In my opinion, they don't equate together. Meaning,
what doesn't equate?
The fact that he didn't leak what Senator Rubio had said about the leak. Meaning,
he's picking and choosing what he wants to leak in order to damage the president.
I appreciate
That's how it's coming across. But speaking of the liberal media, James Comey came.
May I address that though?
Yeah, go ahead quickly.
But they're totally different, because what you're talking about is what he believes someone broke the law versus someone really just clearing from a public relations standpoint this cloud.
But he said he didn't obstruct the Russian investigation. Where's the breaking of the law? James Comey repeatedly said that President Trump did not obstruct the larger Russia investigation. We got to move on. Speaking of the liberal media, Mr. Comey came right out and dismissed the New York Times yesterday for reporting fake news. Watch this one.
So again, so the American people can understand this, that report by the New York Times was not true. Is that a fair statement?
In the main, it was not true. And again, all of you know this, maybe the American people don't. The challenge, and I'm not picking on reporters about writing stories about classified information, is the people talking about it often don't really know what's going on, and those of us who actually know what's going on are not talking about it. And we don't call the press to say, hey, you got that thing wrong about this sensitive topic. We just have to leave it there.
Okay, what he's referring to there is a February story from the New York Times that Russia and Trump, the Trump campaign, there was a lot of communications between the two entities or officials or whatever. And James Comey, Nan, said that was flat out wrong. It didn't happen. What are your thoughts?
Well, it proves the fundamental take-home for the American public is you cannot trust the New York Times. At least you can only trust them to take shreds of whatever they might have and spin them into whole cloth of misrepresentation against the president. This is complete mendacity. You should never listen to the New York Times until they purge themselves of the kind of dishonest reporting and dishonest editing that betrays good journalism and disrespects the people of the United States.
Eric, I want to give you the final word. Go ahead.
I think it plays right into the whole, fake news concept, because, they have been working hard not to have that label attached to them, and now they can't get away from it. I mean, this is a direct hit. It's a backlash. It's a major beating on their credibility.
You think Comey's a hero or a bad guy, Eric? What do you think?
I think that he is, it depends on the perspective. If you look at his intentions, I think his intentions were to be patriotic. But I think that, frankly, there's a lot that I don't agree with in terms of what he did.
Okay, Nan, Eric, you're going to be back in just a bit. We've got more for you guys to tackle.